Mommy, no. The twins' screams cut through the Christmas Eve silence like a knife through flesh. Marcus Washington's boots pounded against ice as he rounded the church corner. A man stood over a blonde woman crumpled in the snow, his fist raised for another blow. Blood splattered white powder red. The knife in the man's other hand caught streetlight glinting descending, aimed at her throat. Marcus didn't think, didn't hesitate, didn't consider what a 6'2" black man tackling a white man would look like when the cops arrived. He just moved. Drop a comment with your city so I can see how far this story travels. The woman's scream ripped Marcus Washington out of his truck like a physical force. Help somebody! Help me! He's going to kill me! Marcus's door flew open. His boots hit frozen asphalt. His body moved before his brain caught up pure muscle memory from 12 years in the Marines. The scream came from behind Cornerstone Baptist Church, where shadows pooled thick between the building and the fellowship hall. He ran, 20 yards, 15, 10. Then he saw them. A man, white maybe 40, wearing a flannel shirt dark with sweat despite the freezing temperature, had a woman pinned against the brick wall. His hand was tangled in her blonde hair, yanking her head back, exposing her throat. Blood streamed from her nose, her mouth. Her hands clawed at his wrist. You think you can leave me? The man's voice was a snarl slurred with alcohol. You think you can take my sons and I'll just let you walk away? Ryan, please. The woman choked on blood and tears. The boys, they're watching. Good. Let them see what happens when you betray your family. That's when Marcus saw the knife. 8-inch blade. Hunting knife. The kind designed to gut deer. Ryan raised it high, the steel catching moonlight, and time fractured into slow-motion horror. The woman's eyes went wide. Her mouth opened for another scream that would come too late. Marcus covered the last 10 feet in 2 seconds. He hit Ryan like a linebacker, all 200 pounds of force aimed at the man's center mass. They went down hard, Marcus on top, driving Ryan's back into the frozen ground. The knife flew from Ryan's grip, skittered across ice. Get off me! Ryan bucked, thrashing. Get your hands off me, you! Marcus didn't let him finish. He grabbed Ryan's flannel shirt, yanked him up 6 inches, and slammed him back down. Ryan's skull cracked against the pavement. His eyes rolled back. His body went limp. For 3 seconds, the world went silent, except for Marcus's ragged breathing. Then, Mommy, Mommy. Marcus's head snapped up. 2 small boys, identical twins, maybe 6 years old, stood pressed against the church wall 10 feet away. They wore matching blue winter coats. Their faces were white with terror, eyes huge and wet with tears. The woman was on her hands and knees in the snow, blood dripping from her face, staining the white powder pink. She was shaking so hard her whole body vibrated. Ma'am? Marcus's voice came out rough. He stood slowly, hands visible, trying not to spook her. Ma'am, are you hurt? She stared at him like he was speaking a foreign language. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. Ma'am. Command voice now. Sergeant voice. I need you to tell me if you're hurt. She touched her face, looked at the blood on her fingers. My nose. I think he broke my nose. Marcus pulled out his phone thumb, hovering over 911. His brain finally caught up with what his body had just done. Black man. Unconscious white man. Bleeding white woman. 2 white children. Christmas Eve. Richmond, Virginia. Every cop show he'd ever seen, every news story, every warning his father had drilled into him played through his head in rapid-fire succession. He could see exactly how this would go. The police would arrive, see Ryan bleeding on the ground, see Marcus standing over him, and nothing that happened after would matter. But if he didn't call, Ryan would wake up. And when he did, he'd finish what he started. Marcus pressed call. 911, what's your emergency? Assault in progress at Cornerstone Baptist Church, Monument Avenue. 1 male suspect unconscious. 1 female victim with facial trauma. 2 minor children present. I need police and paramedics immediately. Sir, are you the victim? No. I'm the one who stopped the assault. My name is Marcus Washington. I'm a veteran, no priors, and I'll be standing right here when units arrive. He ended the call before the dispatcher could tell him to stay on the line. The woman was trying to stand using the wall for support. Her legs kept buckling. Marcus moved toward her, slowly, hands up like approaching a wounded animal. Easy now. Don't try to stand yet. You might have a concussion. My boys. She looked past him at the twins still frozen against the wall. James, Jordan, come here, babies. Neither child moved. It's okay, Marcus said, keeping his voice gentle. He can't hurt you anymore. Come to your mama. The boy on the left, James, maybe took 1 trembling step forward, then another. Then he was running, crashing into his mother's legs, sobbing. His brother followed half a step behind. The woman wrapped her arms around them, swaying, barely staying upright. It's okay, she whispered into their hair. Mommy's okay. We're okay now. Marcus walked over to where the knife had landed. He pulled his sleeve down over his hand, picked the blade up carefully by the tip, no fingerprints, and set it on top of a nearby dumpster where responding officers would see it immediately. Ryan groaned. Marcus turned. The man's eyes were fluttering, his hand moving to his head. Blood matted his hair where his skull had hit pavement. Not enough to kill him. Probably not even enough for a serious concussion. Just enough to keep him down for another few minutes. Ma'am, Marcus said, I need you to tell me your name. Sarah? Her voice was barely a whisper. Sarah Mitchell. Okay, Sarah. That man, is that your husband? Ex-husband. The divorce was finalized 8 weeks ago. He have custody of those boys. No, I have full custody. Her voice cracked. He got supervised visitation only. Because he hit you before, Marcus finished. She nodded, fresh tears spilling over. The restraining order said he couldn't come within 500 feet of us, but he found us. We were staying at the shelter across town and he found us. I don't know how. Marcus's jaw tightened. How'd you end up here? I ran, grabbed the boys and ran. I thought if I could get to the church, there'd be people, someone would help. She looked around at the empty parking lot. But it's Christmas Eve. Everyone's gone home. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Listen to me, Sarah. Marcus crouched down so he was at her eye level. The police are coming. When they get here, you tell them exactly what happened. Your ex-husband violated a restraining order. He attacked you with a knife. I intervened. He hit his head when he fell. That's it. Don't add anything. Don't try to protect him. Just the facts. You understand? Yes. Say it back to me. Ryan violated the restraining order. He attacked me with a knife. You stopped him. He hit his head when he fell. Good. One more thing. Marcus looked at the twins, both still clinging to their mother. Your boys see what happened. Yes. Sarah's voice broke. They saw everything. Marcus wanted to punch something. Instead, he stood up and turned to face James and Jordan. They shrank back, pressing closer to their mother. Hey, he said softly. You guys okay? Neither answered. My name's Marcus. I know you're scared. That's okay. Being scared is normal, but I need you to know something important. He paused, making sure he had their attention. What you saw tonight. That wasn't your fault. None of this was your fault. You understand? James, the braver of the two, whispered. Is Daddy going to die? Nobody. He's just sleeping. The doctors are going to come help him. Is he going to hurt Mommy again? Marcus looked at Sarah, then back at the boy. Not if I have anything to say about it. Red and blue lights swept across the church wall. 3 cruisers and an ambulance pulled into the parking lot, tires crunching over salt and ice. Doors opened. Officers emerged, hands on holsters. "Hands where we can see them." Marcus raised his hands slowly, deliberately. "Marcus Washington. I'm the one who called 911. The suspect is on the ground behind me. The weapon is on top of the dumpster. The victim and her children are here. Nobody else is armed." 2 officers moved toward Ryan while 2 more approached Marcus. The younger cop looked nervous, his hand shaking slightly on his gun. The older one, black Sergeant Stripes name tag reading Johnson, moved with the careful confidence of someone who'd done this 1,000 times. "Mr. Washington," Sergeant Johnson said evenly, "I need you to explain what happened here." Marcus kept his voice calm, professional. "That man attacked that woman with a knife. I stopped him. He sustained a head injury when he fell. The knife is on the dumpster. I only touched the blade. You'll find his prints on the handle." Johnson studied Marcus for a long moment, then looked past him at Sarah. "Ma'am, can you confirm what this man just said?" Sarah nodded, blood still dripping from her nose. "Yes, all of it. Ryan tried to kill me. This man, Marcus, he saved my life." Some of the tension left Johnson's shoulders. "Mr. Washington, I'm still going to need you to come downtown and give a full statement." "I understand. You carrying any weapons?" "No, sir." Johnson nodded to the younger officer, who holstered his gun and moved forward to pat Marcus down. Quick, professional, thorough. No weapons. The kid stepped back, looking relieved. "Sarge?" One of the officers near Ryan called out. "This guy's waking up." Ryan's eyes snapped open. For a second he looked confused, disoriented. Then his gaze found Sarah, and pure rage twisted his features. "You bitch!" He lunged, but the officers had him. They forced him onto his stomach, hands behind his back. "You called the cops on me on Christmas Eve." "Sir, you need to calm down. Get your hands off me. Sarah, you're going to regret this. You hear me? You're going to—" His threats cut off as an officer pressed his face into the snow. The twins started screaming. Sarah pulled them against her, trying to cover their ears, but the damage was done. They'd heard every word. Johnson looked at Marcus, then at Ryan, thrashing on the ground, then back at Marcus. "You do that." He gestured to the head wound. "He did that to himself," Marcus said flatly. "When I stopped him from stabbing his ex-wife." "Who the hell are you?" Ryan snarled, craning his neck to see Marcus. "You her boyfriend? That it? You sleeping with my wife?" "Ex-wife," Sarah said, her voice shaking but steady. "And he's not my anything. He's just someone who saved my life while you tried to take it." Ryan started screaming again, obscenities, threats, accusations. The officers hauled him to his feet, read him his rights over his shouting, and dragged him toward a cruiser. He fought every step, still yelling. The ambulance doors opened. 2 paramedics emerged, one carrying a medical bag. "Ma'am," the female paramedic said, approaching Sarah gently. "I'm Kelly. We need to check you out, okay?" "I'm fine. You're bleeding pretty heavily from your nose. We need to make sure it's not broken." "It is broken," Sarah said. "I can feel it, but I'm not going to the hospital." "Ma'am, you need medical attention." "I'm not leaving my boys." Sarah's voice cracked, hysteria creeping in. "I can't leave them. He'll find them. He always finds them." "He's in custody," Johnson said. "He's not going anywhere." "You don't understand." Sarah was shaking harder now, her whole body trembling. "Last time they arrested him, he was out in 6 hours. 6 hours. And the first thing he did was come to our apartment. I had to grab the boys and run in our pajamas. We've been at the shelter for 2 months because I'm terrified to go home. So don't tell me he's not going anywhere, because he always goes somewhere, and it's always wherever I am." The parking lot went quiet. Even Ryan had stopped shouting, loaded into the back of a cruiser. Marcus looked at James and Jordan, still pressed against their mother, their faces pale in the flashing lights. He thought about Emma, About all the times she'd been scared during her treatment, all the times strangers had stepped up to help when he had nothing left to give. "I'll watch them," he said. Every head turned. "What?" Sarah blinked at him. "Your boys. I'll watch them while you go to the hospital. You need medical attention. They need their mom to be okay. I'll take them to my place, feed them, let them sleep. You can pick them up when you're done." The paramedics exchanged glances. Johnson's expression went from neutral to extremely skeptical. "Mr. Washington," Johnson said carefully, "you can't just volunteer to watch someone's children." "Why not?" "Because you're a stranger who just assaulted. I stopped an assault. Big difference. And we don't know anything about you beyond what you've told us." Marcus pulled out his wallet, extracted his driver's license and veteran ID, and handed them to Johnson. Marcus Jamal Washington, age 47, honorable discharge from the U.S. Marine Corps after 12 years of service. No criminal record, no outstanding warrants. I live at 412 North 25th Street. I work at Home Depot on Broad Street. My phone number is on that card. Call it. It'll ring the phone in my pocket. Run my name. Check my prints. Do whatever you need to do. But that woman needs a doctor, and those boys need somewhere safe to sleep tonight. Johnson stared at the IDs, then at Marcus, then at Sarah. "Ma'am, do you want this?" Sarah looked at Marcus, really looked at him. Her eyes were swollen, her nose crooked, blood drying on her chin. "You'd do that." "You don't even know us." "No, ma'am, I don't. But I know what it's like to be in a hospital worrying about your kid, and I know those boys shouldn't have to spend Christmas Eve watching doctors put their mama back together." "Why?" Sarah's voice broke. "Why would you help us?" Marcus thought about Emma's last Christmas, about how she'd been too weak to open presents, about how he'd sat by her hospital bed holding her hand, while machines beeped and nurses whispered. About the janitor who'd brought them both hot chocolate at 2 a.m. without being asked. About the nurse who'd read Emma the Velveteen Rabbit when Marcus's voice gave out from crying. "Because somebody helped me once," he said quietly. "When I needed it most." Sarah stared at him for another 5 seconds. Then she looked down at her sons. "James, Jordan, would you be okay going with Mr. Marcus for a little while, just until Mommy's done at the hospital?" "No." Jordan grabbed her leg. "Don't leave us. I have to baby. I have to make sure I'm okay so I can take care of you. But Mr. Marcus will keep you safe. Won't you, Mr. Marcus?" Marcus crouched down again, meeting the twins' eyes. "I promise you guys will be safe. We'll go to my house. I'll make you something to eat. You can watch TV, and as soon as your mom's done, she'll come get you. Okay?" "What if Daddy comes?" James whispered. "He won't. The police have him. And even if he did," Marcus's voice hardened, "he'd have to go through me first, and that's not going to happen." The twins looked at each other, having some silent twin conversation. Finally, James nodded. "Okay." Johnson looked like he was going to have a stroke. "This is highly irregular." "So is a man violating a restraining order to try to murder his ex-wife in a church parking lot," Marcus said. "Seems like tonight's just full of irregular." The sergeant stared at him for another long moment. Then he sighed long and weary. "Fine, but I'm following you home. And if anything, and I mean anything, seems off, I'm bringing those kids straight to child services. We clear? Crystal." Sarah pulled James and Jordan into a fierce hug, whispering things Marcus couldn't hear. Promises, probably. Reassurances. The lies parents tell their children to make them feel safe, even when nothing is safe. Finally, she let them go. Kelly, the paramedic, helped Sarah to her feet, guided her toward the ambulance. Sarah looked back 3 times before the doors closed. Marcus held out his hands. James took his left. Jordan took his right. Their fingers were ice cold. "Okay, guys," Marcus said. "Let's go home." He walked them to his truck, a beat-up Ford F-150 with rusted wheel wells and a cracked windshield. Johnson's cruiser followed close enough that Marcus could see his suspicious face in the rearview mirror the entire drive. The twins didn't say a word. Marcus's house appeared after 12 silent minutes, a narrow row house in Church Hill, old but clean, with a porch that sagged slightly and paint that needed work. He parked, killed the engine, and turned to look at James and Jordan in the back seat. "Welcome to my place," he said. "Rules are simple. Take off your shoes inside, don't touch the thermostat, and if you need anything bathroom water, whatever, you just ask." "Got it." Two solemn nods. "Good. Let's go." He unbuckled them, led them up the walk. Johnson stayed in his cruiser engine running, watching. Marcus unlocked the front door, flicked on the lights. The house looked exactly how he'd left it. Clean, sparse, empty. No Christmas tree. No decorations. No wrapping paper or stockings or any sign that the holiday existed. Just bare walls and second-hand furniture, and the kind of silence that came from living alone too long. James looked around, then whispered to his brother, "It's sad." Jordan nodded. No presents. Marcus's chest tightened. "Yeah, I wasn't really planning on celebrating this year. Or last year. Or the year before that." He got them settled on the couch, cracked leather comfortable enough, and turned on the TV. Some animated Christmas special was playing. Elves singing about Santa. The twins sat rigid, not relaxed, hands folded in their laps like they were afraid to move. Marcus went to the kitchen, opened his refrigerator. Leftover Chinese food from 3 days ago. Beer. Mustard. A block of cheese that might be growing mold. Nothing a 6-year-old would eat. He checked the pantry. Ramen noodles. Canned soup. Stale crackers. "Fantastic," he muttered. He grabbed his keys, stuck his head back into the living room. "I need to run to the store. You guys okay here for 10 minutes? Both boys looked terrified. "Or," Marcus said quickly, "you can come with me." "Can we?" Jordan's voice was barely audible. "Sure, grab your coats." The 7-Eleven on the corner was the only place still open. Marcus loaded a basket with frozen pizzas, cookies, apple juice, and because it was Christmas Eve, and these kids had earned something good, 2 candy canes and a bag of mini chocolate bars. The clerk, a tired-looking woman with Denise on her name tag, looked at Marcus, looked at the twins, holding his hands, and raised an eyebrow. "Don't ask," Marcus said. "Wasn't planning on it, honey. Merry Christmas." "Yeah, you too." Back home, Marcus heated up pizza while the boys sat at his kitchen table, still wearing their coats, like they might need to run at any second. When he set slices in front of them, they devoured the food in seconds, barely chewing, just swallowing. "When's the last time you ate?" Marcus asked. "Breakfast," James said around a mouthful of cheese. "What about lunch?" "Mommy didn't have money for lunch. She said we'd eat when Daddy gave her the child support. But he never gave her the child support." Marcus's jaw clenched. "You guys want more pizza?" They nodded eagerly. He gave them each another slice, then sat across from them watching them eat. Their coats were thin, not nearly warm enough for a Virginia winter. Their clothes underneath were worn, patched in places. Sarah's shelter accommodations probably didn't come with a clothing budget. "You guys like it at the shelter?" Marcus asked. Jordan shrugged. "It's okay, there's other kids." "We have to be quiet at night, though," James added. "And we can't run in the halls. And the big boys take our stuff sometimes." "What kind of stuff?" "Toys, snacks, Jordan's favorite truck." Jordan's face fell. It was red. "Daddy gave it to me before he started being mean." Before. There was always a before with men like Ryan. Before the drinking got worse. Before the temper became violence. Before love turned into control, and control turned into fists. Marcus finished his own slice, then got up and walked to the hallway closet. He dug through boxes until he found what he was looking for, a plastic tub labeled Emma's Toys in permanent marker. He carried it back to the kitchen table, set it down, opened the lid. Inside, stuffed animals, picture books, building blocks, and right on top, a red toy truck. Jordan's eyes went huge. "Is that?" "It was my daughter's," Marcus said quietly. "She passed away 3 years ago, but I think she'd want you to have it." "We can't take your daughter's truck," James said seriously. "That's too special." "It's special because someone plays with it," Marcus said. "Toys are meant to be played with. Emma would have wanted that." Jordan reached out slowly, reverently, and picked up the truck. He ran his small fingers over the wheels, the cab, the tiny plastic windshield. "What was her name?" Jordan whispered. "Emma. She was 7 when she died." "How'd she die?" "She got sick. Cancer. It's a disease that—" "We know what cancer is," James interrupted. "Our grandma died from cancer." "Then you know it's not fair. And it's not anybody's fault. And it hurts the people left behind." Both boys nodded solemnly. Marcus closed the toy box, carried it back to the closet. When he returned, Jordan was making soft engine noises, rolling the red truck across the table. James was finishing his pizza. "You guys want to watch more TV?" Marcus asked. "Can we take baths?" Jordan asked quietly. "We haven't had a real bath in a long time. At the shelter, we only get showers, and they're cold." Something cracked in Marcus's chest. "Yeah, buddy, you can take a bath." He ran a warm bath, found towels Emma had used, and stood outside the bathroom door, while the twins splashed and laughed actual laughter, the first he'd heard from them all night. When they emerged 20 minutes later, pink-cheeked and clean, Marcus gave them each one of his old t-shirts to sleep in. The shirts hung to their ankles like nightgowns. "Better?" Marcus asked. "So much better." James sighed. Marcus found Emma's blanket, the one with stars on it that she'd loved, and tucked them both onto the couch. The Christmas special was still playing. Their eyes were already drooping. "Mr. Marcus," Jordan said sleepily. "Yeah. Is Daddy going to come back?" Marcus thought about Ryan in handcuffs, about the restraining order he'd violated, about the knife and the blood and the screaming, about how men like Ryan always came back. "Not tonight," Marcus said firmly. "Tonight you're safe. I promise." "What about tomorrow?" "We'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here. Right now, you just sleep." James's hand found Jordan's under the blanket. They fell asleep like that, holding each other, faces finally peaceful. Marcus sat in the chair across from them, watching them breathe, and wondered what the hell he'd gotten himself into. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. "This is Sarah. They let me go. Nose broken but not displaced. Coming to get the boys now." Marcus looked at the twins, dead asleep, finally warm and fed and safe. "They're sleeping. Maybe wait till morning. Let them rest." 3 dots. Then, "Are you sure?" "Yeah. Get some rest yourself. I'll make breakfast." Long pause. "I don't know how to thank you." "Don't need thanks. Just take care of yourself." He set his phone down, leaned back in the chair, and closed his eyes. Outside, snow began to fall again, covering Ryan's blood in the church parking lot, erasing the evidence like it never happened. But inside Marcus's house, 2 little boys slept under Emma's favorite blanket, holding hands, finally safe. And for the first time in 3 years, Marcus's house didn't feel quite so empty. Marcus woke to the sound of whispers. His eyes opened. Gray morning light filtered through the curtains. The TV was still on volume low, playing some morning news program. James and Jordan sat on the couch exactly where he'd left them, still wrapped in Emma's blanket, but awake now. Their heads were bent close together, having one of those silent twin conversations. Marcus didn't move. Didn't want to startle them. Just watched as Jordan pointed at something across the room and James shook his head. More whispers. Jordan's lower lip trembled. "You guys okay?" Marcus's voice came out rough with sleep. Both boys jumped. Jordan's eyes were wet. "What's wrong?" Marcus sat up, his back protesting. Sleeping in a chair at 47 was a young man's game. "Nothing," James said quickly. Too quickly. "Doesn't look like nothing. Jordan wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. We have to go to the bathroom, but we didn't want to wake you up and we didn't know if we're allowed. Marcus's chest tightened. Allowed, buddy, you don't need permission to use the bathroom. This isn't... He stopped himself. This wasn't the shelter. This wasn't their father's house. But these kids didn't know that yet. Bathroom's right down the hall, second door on the left. Go ahead. They scrambled off the couch, still clutching each other's hands, and disappeared down the hallway. Marcus heard the bathroom door close, the lock click. Smart kids. Trust nobody. He pushed himself out of the chair joints popping and walked to the kitchen. His phone showed 6:47 a.m. Christmas morning. No messages from Sarah. He started coffee, then checked his refrigerator again. Still empty. The pizza from last night was gone. He'd given them the rest before bed. He had eggs, bread, could make French toast maybe. The toilet flushed. Water ran. The twins emerged, still wearing his oversized t-shirts, still holding hands. You guys hungry? Marcus asked. Yes, sir, they chorused. Stop calling me sir. Makes me feel old. Marcus is fine. Mommy says we have to be polite to adults, James said seriously. Your mommy's right. But there's polite and there's scared. I don't want you scared of me. Understood? They nodded, but Marcus wasn't sure they believed him. He made French toast, Emma's favorite breakfast. The muscle memory came back easy. Crack, the eggs add cinnamon dip, the bread, let it sizzle. He'd made this 1,000 times standing at this same stove, listening to Emma chatter about whatever 7-year-old thing was important that day. Mr. Marcus. Jordan's voice pulled him back. Yeah, buddy. Is our mommy okay? She's fine. She texted last night, said the doctors fixed her nose. Can we call her? Marcus glanced at the clock. Almost 7. Let's eat first, then we'll call. Deal. Deal. He served them each 2 slices, drowning in syrup the way kids liked it. They ate slower this morning, not starving, desperate like last night. Marcus sat across from them with his coffee, watching them eat, wondering what the hell happened next. His phone rang. Sarah. Hold on, Marcus said to the twins. He walked to the living room, answered. Morning. Marcus. Sarah's voice was thick nasal. The broken nose. Are my boys okay? They're fine. Eating breakfast. You want to talk to them? Yes, please. Marcus walked back to the kitchen, put the phone on speaker. Go ahead. Mommy! Both boys shouted simultaneously. Hi, babies. Oh my God, I missed you. Are you okay? Did you sleep? We slept good, James said. Mr. Marcus gave us pizza and a bath and we got to watch TV. He gave Jordan a truck, James added. A red one. It was his daughter's. Silence on the other end. Then Sarah's voice smaller. Marcus, you didn't have to. It's fine, Marcus said. When you want to pick them up? That's why I'm calling. I'm still at the hospital. They want to keep me for observation. My blood pressure's too high, and they're worried about their using words like traumatic stress response. And I don't... Her voice cracked. I can't leave yet. Maybe this afternoon? Marcus looked at the twins, both staring at the phone with worried faces. Take your time, he said. They're safe here. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. Stay as long as the doctors want. We'll be here. Another pause. Why are you doing this? Marcus thought about that. About Emma's hospital stays, about strangers who'd helped, about how easy it was to walk past suffering and how hard it was to stop. Because I can, he said simply. Sarah made a sound, half sob, half laugh. Okay, let me talk to my boys again. Marcus handed the phone to James. Your mom wants to talk to you. James took it carefully like it was made of glass. Hi, Mommy. Marcus couldn't hear what Sarah said, but he watched James's face relax, watched Jordan lean in close to listen. After a minute, James handed the phone to his brother. I love you too, Mommy, Jordan whispered. I hope your nose feels better. They talked for another few minutes. Kid stuff, reassurances, promises to be good. When they hung up, both boys looked calmer. "She's okay?" Marcus asked. "She says her face hurts, but the doctors are nice," James reported. "And they gave her Jell-O." "Hospital Jell-O's the best," Marcus said. "Emma used to say the red kind tasted like medicine, but the green kind was magic." "Who's Emma?" Jordan asked. Then his face fell. "Oh, your daughter. Sorry." "Don't be sorry. I like talking about her. Means she's still here, you know, in the talking." Jordan considered this. "Our grandma died, and Mommy cries when we talk about her." "That's because your mommy's sad. Sad's okay. Sad means you loved somebody." "Are you sad?" James asked. "Every day," Marcus admitted. "But it's getting better. Slowly." They finished breakfast. Marcus washed dishes while the twins went back to the couch watching cartoons, Jordan making his new red truck zoom across the cushions. The house felt different with them in it. Less empty. Less like a place where someone was waiting to die. Around 9, someone knocked on the front door. Marcus's body tensed immediately. He looked at the twins. "Stay here." He walked to the door, checked the peephole. Sergeant Johnson stood on the porch, still in uniform, looking tired. Marcus opened the door. "Sergeant?" "Mr. Washington, just checking in, making sure everything's okay." "Everything's fine. Kids are watching TV. Their mom's still at the hospital." Johnson looked past Marcus into the house. "Mind if I come in?" Marcus wanted to say yes, he did mind, but refusing would look suspicious. "Sure." He stepped aside. Johnson entered, eyes scanning everything, the sparse furniture, the clean floors, the twins on the couch. James and Jordan stared back, wary. "Boys," Johnson said, "how you doing this morning?" "Good," James said quietly. "Mr. Marcus treating you okay?" "Yes, sir. He made us French toast." Johnson looked at Marcus. "Can we talk privately?" Marcus led him to the kitchen, out of earshot, but where he could still see the twins through the doorway. "Listen," Johnson said, lowering his voice. "I ran your name. You're clean. Cleaner than clean, actually. 12 years in the Marines. Honorable discharge, no record, not even a parking ticket. References from your CO say you're solid. Okay. But I gotta ask, why are you doing this?" Marcus poured himself more coffee. Didn't offer any to Johnson. "You got kids, Sergeant? 3, 2 boys and a girl. Then you know what it's like to love somebody more than yourself, to know you'd die for them without thinking twice." "Yeah. I had that. With Emma, my daughter. Leukemia took her 3 years ago. And when she died, I died too. Just kept breathing out of habit." Marcus stared into his coffee. "Last night I was sitting in that church parking lot trying to figure out if I had the guts to stop breathing on purpose. Then I heard that woman scream." Johnson's expression shifted. "Marcus, I'm not going to do anything," Marcus said quickly. "Not anymore. Because those kids in there, they need somebody right now. And helping them is the first thing that's felt like living in 3 years." Johnson was quiet for a long moment. "Child Services is going to want to check in." "I figured. And Ryan Mitchell made bail 2 hours ago." Marcus's head snapped up. "What?" "Judge set it at 50,000. He posted 10% and walked. There's a new restraining order, ankle monitor, and about 15 conditions, but he's out." "You're kidding me." "Wish I was. Look, he comes within 500 feet of Sarah or those kids, he goes straight back to jail. But I wanted you to know." Marcus looked at the twins, still absorbed in their cartoon. "Does Sarah know?" "Hospital security's been notified. She's safe there. But when she leaves—" Johnson shrugged. "Woman's got nowhere to go. Shelter's full through New Year's. And even if it wasn't, Ryan knows where it is. She can stay here." The words came out before Marcus had fully thought them through. Johnson raised his eyebrows. "You don't even know her," Johnson said. "I know her ex-husband tried to kill her. I know she's got 2 kids who need somewhere safe. And I know I've got 3 empty bedrooms." "Marcus," That's what... Marcus set down his coffee cup harder than necessary. Crazy stupid? Yeah, probably. But you know what's crazier? That woman going back to a shelter where her ex knows exactly where to find her. You know what's stupider, me sitting in this empty house feeling sorry for myself when I could actually help somebody? Johnson studied him. You're serious. Dead serious. You just met her 12 hours ago. I made decisions with less information in Fallujah. Worked out fine. This isn't a war zone. You sure about that? Marcus gestured toward the twins. Those kids watched their father try to murder their mother on Christmas Eve. Seems like a war zone to me. Johnson sighed long and heavy. I'll tell Sarah when I check on her. But Marcus, if this goes sideways, if Ryan shows up here, you call 911 immediately. Don't try to be a hero. Heroes get people killed. I'm just a guy with extra space. Johnson left. Marcus returned to the living room. James and Jordan were still on the couch, but they weren't watching TV anymore. They were watching him. Is Mommy okay? Jordan asked. She's fine, but I need to ask you guys something. Would it be okay if your mom stayed here for a few days, just until she finds a better place? Here. James looked around. With us? Yeah, there's rooms upstairs. You and Jordan could share one, your mom could have another. It'd just be temporary. The twins looked at each other, having another silent conversation. Finally, James said, Would Daddy know we're here? No. Nobody's going to tell him. What if he finds us anyway? Marcus crouched down to their level. If your daddy shows up here, and he won't, but if he does, he's going to have to go through me first. And I promise you that's not going to happen. You believe me? Jordan nodded slowly. You're really big. 6'2", 200 pounds of Marine Corps training. Your daddy's 5'10" and soft around the middle. Math doesn't work out in his favor. Mommy says fighting is wrong, James said. Your mommy's right. Fighting is wrong. But protecting people, that's different. That's what Marines do. We protect people who can't protect themselves. Are you still a Marine? Jordan asked. Once a Marine, always a Marine, buddy. That doesn't go away just because you take off the uniform. They seemed to accept this, went back to watching TV. Marcus sat in his chair thinking about what he'd just committed to. A woman and 2 kids he'd known for less than 24 hours. Ryan Mitchell, out on bail. His empty house about to be very full. Emma would have loved this. She'd always wanted siblings. Used to ask Marcus when he was going to give her a brother or sister. He'd always said, someday, but someday never came. Cancer came instead. Around noon, Marcus's phone rang again. Sarah. They're releasing me, she said. Her voice sounded stronger. In about an hour. I can call a cab to your place. I'll come get you. Marcus, you've done enough. I'm coming to get you. Which hospital? She told him. VCU Medical Center, 20 minutes away. Stay inside until you see my truck, Marcus said. Don't wait outside. Why? What happened? Marcus glanced at the twins, lowered his voice. Ryan made bail. He's out. Silence. Then, he's out already. Yeah, but there's an ankle monitor and a restraining order. He comes near you, he goes straight back to jail. That didn't stop him last night. I know. Which is why you're not going back to the shelter. You're staying here. Marcus. We'll talk when I pick you up. 1 hour. Stay inside. He hung up before she could argue, turned to face the twins. Okay, guys. We're going to get your mom. You coming or staying? Coming, they said together. Then go get dressed. Your clothes are in the dryer. They ran off. Marcus grabbed his keys, checked his wallet, made sure his phone was charged. 20 minutes to the hospital, maybe 5 to get Sarah 20 back. He could do this. The twins emerged wearing yesterday's clothes, wrinkled but clean. Marcus bundled them into the truck, checked his mirrors 3 times before backing out. Johnson's warning echoed in his head. Don't try to be a hero. But heroes were the ones who acted. Marcus was just the one who couldn't walk away. Traffic was light. Christmas morning. Most people were home opening presents, drinking eggnog, pretending everything was fine. Marcus drove past houses with lights and decorations, families visible through windows, and felt the familiar ache in his chest. That used to be him. Used to be Emma running downstairs in her pajamas squealing about what Santa brought. "Mr. Marcus," James's voice from the back seat. "Yeah. Do you think Santa came?" Marcus glanced in the rearview mirror. Both boys looked anxious. "I don't know, buddy. Did you ask for anything?" "We asked for Daddy to stop being mean," Jordan said quietly. "But Santa doesn't do that kind of thing, right? He just does toys." Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Sometimes the best presents aren't toys. Sometimes they're safety, and peace, and people who help when you need it. "Did Santa send you?" James asked. The question hit Marcus like a fist. "Maybe he did, buddy. Maybe he did." They pulled into the hospital parking lot. Marcus found a spot near the emergency entrance, killed the engine. "You boys stay here. Lock the doors. I'll be right back with your mom." "What if Daddy comes?" Jordan's voice was small. "He won't. But if you see him, you lay on that horn and don't stop until I come running. Got it?" They nodded. Marcus locked them in, jogged to the entrance. The automatic doors slid open. Antiseptic smell hit him immediately. Hospitals all smelled the same. He'd spent too many hours in places like this watching Emma shrink under white sheets. He found Sarah in the waiting area, sitting with her hands folded in her lap. She'd changed clothes. Someone must have brought her something. Her nose was bandaged, both eyes blackened, stitches visible on her cheek. She looked up when Marcus approached and tried to smile. It came out broken. "Hey," Marcus said. "Hey." She stood slowly, wincing. "Thank you for coming. You didn't have to." "Yeah, I did. Your boys are in the truck. Let's go." She followed him out. The twins' faces pressed against the back window, watching. When Sarah opened the door, they launched themselves at her. "Mommy, easy babies, easy." Sarah wrapped her arms around them, tears streaming down her face. "I'm okay. I'm okay. I missed you so much." They clung to her, crying, all three of them shaking. Marcus gave them a minute, then cleared his throat. "We should go." Sarah nodded, wiping her eyes. They got everyone buckled. Marcus drove carefully, watching mirrors, checking for cars that stayed too close. Nothing suspicious. Just Christmas traffic heading home. "Marcus," Sarah said quietly. "Johnson told me what you offered. I can't accept that." "Why not?" "Because it's too much. Because you don't know me. Because you think you're a burden," Marcus finished. "You're not. You need help. I can help. That's the whole equation." "What if Ryan finds out where you live? Then he violates his restraining order and goes back to jail." "What if he doesn't care about jail?" Marcus met her eyes in the rearview mirror. "Then he finds out what happens when you threaten someone a Marine cares about." Sarah stared at him. "You barely know us." Emma used to say, "You don't have to know somebody a long time to care about them. You just have to see them, really see them." Marcus paused. "I see you, Sarah. I see those boys. And I see a family that needs somewhere safe. So unless you've got a better option, you're staying at my place. End of discussion." She was quiet the rest of the drive. When they pulled up to Marcus's house, she stared at it like it might disappear. "Come on," Marcus said. "Let's get you inside." He got Sarah and the twins into the house, settled them on the couch. Sarah looked exhausted, that bone-deep tired that came from trauma and fear and too many sleepless nights. "You need to rest," Marcus said. "Upstairs, second door on the right. That's the guest room. Bed's made. Door locks. Get some sleep." The boys. "I've got them. Go." Sarah looked at James and Jordan. "You'll be good." "Yes, Mommy," they promised. She kissed them both, then climbed the stairs like every step hurt. Marcus heard the guest room door close, heard the lock click. "Is Mommy going to be okay?" Jordan whispered. "Yeah," Marcus said. "She just needs rest. Your mom's been through a lot. So have we, James pointed out. You're right. So have you. Which means you all need to take care of each other. Deal. Deal. Marcus spent the afternoon with the twins. They watched more TV, played with Emma's old toys, asked 1,000 questions about everything. Around 4, Marcus made grilled cheese sandwiches. The boys devoured them. Sarah's door stayed closed. Marcus left a sandwich outside her room, knocked, softly, walked away. By 6, the twins were yawning. Marcus found clean sheets, made up the second guest room, the one that used to be Emma's before she got sick, and moved to the room closer to his. James and Jordan climbed into the bed together, still holding hands. "Mr. Marcus," James said. "Yeah, buddy. Thank you for letting us stay." "You're welcome. Sleep good, okay?" He turned off the light, left the door cracked open, went back downstairs. The house was quiet except for the TV murmuring. Marcus sat in his chair, staring at nothing, wondering what the hell happened to his life. 24 hours ago, he'd been ready to give up, to stop trying, to let the grief finally win. Now he had 3 people sleeping upstairs, counting on him to keep them safe. Emma would have loved this, would have loved having other kids in the house, would have taught them games and shared her toys and made them laugh. "I'm trying, baby girl," Marcus whispered to the empty room. "I'm trying to be the dad you deserved." His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Marcus's stomach clenched. "I know where she is." Just 4 words, no signature. But Marcus knew exactly who sent it. Ryan had found them. Marcus stared at the text message, his heart hammering against his ribs. 4 words that changed everything. "I know where she is." His finger hovered over Johnson's number. 1 call and the cops would be here in minutes. Ryan would violate his restraining order. Ankle monitor would place him at Marcus's address. Back to jail. Problem solved. Except it wouldn't be solved. Ryan would make bail again. And next time, he'd be smarter, angrier, more dangerous. Another text came through. "You think you can hide her from me? She's my wife. Those are my sons." Marcus's jaw clenched. He typed back, "Ex-wife. And if you come near this house, you'll regret it." 3 dots appeared immediately. Ryan was typing, watching his phone. Probably sitting in his truck somewhere close. "Tough guy. Let's see how tough you are when I call the cops and tell them a black man kidnapped my family." There it was. The card Marcus had been waiting for Ryan to play. The one that would work in Richmond, Virginia. The one that would get Marcus arrested, questioned, dragged through the system, while Ryan walked free. Marcus stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the dark street. Nothing moved. No headlights, no trucks idling at the curb, but Ryan was out there somewhere close enough to know Sarah was here. His phone rang. Not a text this time, a call. Marcus answered. "You don't scare me," he said instead of hello. Ryan's laugh came through harsh and bitter. "Yeah, you should be scared. I looked you up. Marcus Washington. Age 47, works at Home Depot, lives alone. Your daughter died 3 years ago. Leukemia. That's rough, man. I'm sorry for your loss." The false sympathy made Marcus's blood boil. "Say what you want to say, Ryan. I want my family back. They're not your family anymore. Divorce papers say so. Judge says so. The restraining order definitely says so." "Piece of paper doesn't change blood," Ryan snarled. "Those boys are mine. Sarah's mine. And some washed-up Marine with a savior complex isn't going to keep them from me." "Washed-up Marine," Marcus repeated slowly. "That's what you think I am. That's what I know you are. You're lonely, desperate, playing hero because you couldn't save your own kid. But here's the thing, you can't save Sarah either. She always comes back to me. Always." Marcus's free hand curled into a fist. "Because you terrorize her. Because you make her think she has nowhere else to go." "Because she loves me," Ryan said. "And I love her. We had a fight, that's all. Couples fight. But we work through it. We always do." You tried to stab her. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. She knows that. The two black eyes and broken nose say otherwise. Ryan's voice dropped, went cold. Put her on the phone. No. Put her on the phone. Or what, you'll come here. Please do. I'd love to have a conversation face to face. Silence. Then Ryan said, You think you're smart. You think having Sarah there makes you some kind of good guy. I've got news for you. She's using you. That's what she does. Plays the victim, makes men feel sorry for her, takes whatever she can get. Then she moves on. Sounds like projection to me, Marcus said. Sounds like a guy who knows his ex-wife figured out she deserves better. Deserves better. Ryan's voice cracked. I gave her everything, a house, kids, a life, and she threw it away because I had a few bad days. You put her in the hospital twice. She told you that she's lying. Sarah lies about everything. Ask her about the money she stole from our joint account. Ask her about the affair she had with her boss. Ask her. I'm hanging up now. Marcus interrupted. And if you call again, if you text again, if you come within 500 feet of this address, I'm calling the cops and sending them screenshots of everything. Your choice. He ended the call. His hands were shaking. Footsteps on the stairs. Marcus turned. Sarah stood halfway down, her face, pale, eyes wide. Was that Ryan? Yeah. What did he say? Marcus considered lying, considered telling her everything was fine. But Sarah had been lied to enough. He knows you're here. I don't know how, but he knows. Sarah's legs buckled. She sat down hard on the stairs. Oh God, he found us. He always finds us. Hey. Marcus walked over, kept his voice steady. He knows you're here, but he can't do anything about it. He comes near this house, he violates his restraining order. He's not stupid enough to risk jail again. You don't know him like I do, Sarah whispered. He doesn't care about jail. He doesn't care about consequences. He only cares about winning. And if he can't have me, he'll make sure nobody else does either. Marcus sat down on the step below her. Sarah, look at me. She did. Her eyes were glassy with tears. I need you to tell me the truth, Marcus said. About Ryan. About everything. Because if I'm going to protect you and those boys, I need to know what I'm dealing with. Sarah wiped her eyes, took a shaky breath. What do you want to know? How long was he hitting you? 2 years, maybe 3. It started small, grabbing my arm too hard, pushing me into walls. Then it got worse. When did he start hitting the boys? Sarah's face crumpled. 6 months ago. Jordan forgot to turn off a light. Ryan backhanded him so hard he flew across the room. That's when I knew I had to leave. But you didn't leave right away. I tried. He found me, dragged me back, told me if I tried to run again he'd kill me and tell the police it was self-defense, said no jury would believe a man with a good job and a nice house would hurt his family. What changed? He went after James. Sarah's voice broke. With his belt. Beat him so bad James couldn't sit down for a week. I took pictures of the bruises. Went to the police. Got a restraining order. Filed for divorce. He fought me on everything, custody, money, the house. But the judge saw the pictures. Saw the hospital records from when he broke my ribs. Gave me full custody and ordered him to stay away. And he violated that order last night. He's violated it 17 times, Sarah said. 17. The police arrest him. He makes bail, he comes right back. It's like the restraining order doesn't even exist. Marcus's jaw tightened. Why didn't the judge revoke his bail? Because his lawyer's good, because Ryan has money and connections, because the system is broken. Sarah looked at Marcus with hollow eyes. You can't save us. Nobody can. Eventually he's going to kill me, and those boys are going to grow up without a mother. No, Marcus said firmly. That's not going to happen. You don't know that. Yeah, I do. Because I'm not going to let it. Sarah laughed, bitter and broken. You sound like every cop, every social worker, every person who's ever promised to help. But promises don't stop men like Ryan. You're right, Marcus agreed. Promises don't. But I'm not just making promises. Then what are you doing? Marcus stood up, walked to the closet, opened it, pushed aside coats until he found what he was looking for, a lockbox on the top shelf. He pulled it down, entered the combination, opened it. Inside, his service weapon. A Beretta M9. Standard issue. He'd kept it after discharge, maintained, it kept his range certification current. Hadn't touched it in 3 years, until now. What are you doing? Sarah's voice was sharp with panic. Marcus, no. No guns. Not with the boys here. The boys won't see it, won't touch it. But Ryan needs to know that if he comes here, he's not dealing with an unarmed woman anymore. Marcus checked the magazine, found it empty, opened a smaller box of ammunition. He needs to know this isn't a game. If you shoot him, you'll go to prison. Only if he comes inside. Virginia has a stand-your-ground law. He breaks into my house, threatens my guests. I have every legal right to defend my property and the people in it. Sarah stood up, came down the stairs. Marcus, please. I appreciate everything you've done, but I can't let you risk your life for us. We'll leave, tonight. I'll take the boys and we'll go somewhere Ryan can't find us. Where? Marcus asked. Another shelter, another city. How long before he tracks you down again? I don't know, but I can't let you. Sarah. Marcus set the gun down, turned to face her. 3 years ago, my daughter died in my arms. She was 7 years old. Her last words were, "Don't be sad, Daddy." And I've been sad every single day since. Sad and angry and useless. Last night, I was sitting in a church parking lot trying to figure out if I had the guts to eat a bullet. Then I heard you scream. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt like maybe there was a reason I was still breathing. Tears streamed down Sarah's face. That's not fair. You can't put that on me. I'm not putting anything on you. I'm telling you that helping you and those boys gives my life meaning again. So I'm asking you, begging you to let me do this. Let me be useful. Let me be the man my daughter thought I was. Sarah's shoulders shook. What if you get hurt? Then I get hurt. Better me than you. Better me than James or Jordan. What if you get killed? Then I die protecting people who need protecting. That's not a bad way to go. That's a terrible way to go, Sarah sobbed. Your daughter wouldn't want that. My daughter would want me to help people. That's who she was. That's who I'm trying to be. They stood there in the hallway, both crying now, both broken in different ways. Finally, Sarah nodded. Okay, we'll stay. But Marcus, if this gets bad, if Ryan comes here, promise me you'll call the police first. Promise me you won't try to be a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero, Marcus said. I'm just trying to be a Marine. Sarah didn't understand the difference. That was okay. Most people didn't. Marcus secured the gun in the lockbox, put it back in the closet. Out of sight, but accessible. Then he checked every window, every door, made sure everything was locked. He closed the curtains in the front rooms, turned on the porch light, made the house look occupied but protected. His phone buzzed. Another text from Ryan. Tick-tock, Marcus. Tick-tock. Marcus deleted it, blocked the number. Ryan would just get another burner phone, but it bought some time. Upstairs he heard footsteps. Small footsteps. The twins were awake. Mommy, Jordan's voice scared. Mommy, where are you? Sarah ran upstairs. Marcus heard her soothing them, heard their questions, heard her lies. Everything's fine, babies. Just a bad dream. Go back to sleep. But everything wasn't fine. Ryan was out there somewhere, watching, waiting, planning. And Marcus knew how men like Ryan thought. They didn't give up. They escalated. Around midnight, Marcus's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. Yeah. Mr. Washington, this is Sergeant Johnson. We've got a situation. Marcus's stomach dropped. What kind of situation? Ryan Mitchell just showed up at VCU Medical Center claiming Sarah Mitchell kidnapped his children. He's demanding we do a welfare check on your address. He's lying. Sarah has full custody. I know. I saw the paperwork, but protocol says I have to follow up on any kidnapping report, even ones that smell like bullshit. You coming here now? I'm pulling up to your house in about 30 seconds. Do me a favor, turn on your porch light and meet me at the door. I don't want to wake up those kids. Marcus looked out the window. Sure enough, a cruiser rolled up to the curb lights off. He opened the door before Johnson could knock. The sergeant looked tired. This is what we call a welfare check. I need to see Sarah Mitchell and confirm the children are safe and here voluntarily. They're asleep. Wake them up. I need to see them with my own eyes. Marcus wanted to argue, but arguing would just make things worse. Wait here. He went upstairs, knocked softly on Sarah's door. Sarah, it's Marcus. We've got a problem. The door opened immediately. Sarah's face was pale. What's wrong? Ryan filed a kidnapping report. Johnson's here to do a welfare check. Oh, God. The boys. He needs to see you and the twins. Make sure you're here voluntarily and they're safe. Sarah's hands shook as she woke James and Jordan. They were groggy, confused, scared. She carried Jordan, held James's hand, and followed Marcus downstairs. Johnson stood in the doorway, his face professionally neutral. Ms. Mitchell, I need to ask you some questions. Okay, Sarah whispered. Are you here voluntarily? Yes. Is anyone forcing you to stay? No. Marcus offered us a safe place. We accepted. And your children, are they here voluntarily? They're 6 years old, Sarah said. They go where I go. Johnson made notes. Mr. Washington, may I see the children? Marcus stepped aside. James and Jordan clung to their mother, staring at the officer with wide, frightened eyes. Boys, Johnson said gently, has anyone hurt you? They shook their heads. Has Mr. Marcus been mean to you? No, James said. He's nice. He gave us pizza and French toast. And a truck, Jordan added sleepily. A red one. Johnson almost smiled. Almost. Okay. Ms. Mitchell, I need you to understand something. Your ex-husband is claiming you violated his custody agreement. Obviously that's false, I've seen the paperwork, but he's going to keep pushing this, keep filing reports, keep making accusations. He's trying to use the system to harass you. I know, Sarah said. He's done it before. My advice, document everything. Every text, every call, every time he violates the restraining order. Build a case so strong, no judge can ignore it. What good will that do? Sarah's voice cracked. I already have a case. I have hospital records and police reports and photographs, and he's still out there, still free, still able to terrorize us whenever he wants. Johnson didn't have an answer for that, because there wasn't one. I'll file my report, he said finally. Say the children are safe and you're here voluntarily. That should keep Ryan off your back for tonight at least. Thank you, Marcus said. Johnson looked at him long and measuring. You know what you're getting into. Yeah. You sure about that? I've been in worse situations. Not like this. This isn't enemy combatants in a foreign country. This is a domestic abuser with rights and a lawyer and a system that's built to give him second chances. Then the system's broken, Marcus said flatly. Yeah, it is. Johnson tipped his head at Sarah. Ma'am, you be careful. And Mr. Washington, you call me if anything, and I mean anything happens. Don't try to handle this yourself. Copy that. Johnson left. Marcus locked the door behind him, checked it twice, then turned to face Sarah and the twins. I'm sorry, Sarah whispered. I'm so sorry. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Ryan's going to make your life hell. My life's already hell, Marcus said. This is just a different kind. That's not funny. Wasn't trying to be funny, just honest. He looked at James and Jordan, both half asleep in their mother's arms. "Come on, let's get you guys back to bed." They trudged upstairs. Marcus tucked the twins in, pulled Emma's blanket up to their chins. They were asleep before he turned off the light. Sarah stood in the hallway looking lost. "I don't know how to thank you." "Don't thank me yet. We're not through this." "When will we be through it?" Marcus thought about Ryan's texts, about the phone call, about the welfare check. Thought about how men like Ryan never stopped, never gave up, never learned. "I don't know," he admitted, "but we'll figure it out." Sarah nodded, though she didn't look convinced. "Good night, Marcus." "Good night." She went to her room. Marcus heard the lock click. He stood in the hallway for a long moment, then went downstairs, checked the locks again, checked the windows again. Everything secure. He sat in his chair, phone in hand, staring at the blocked number. Ryan was out there somewhere, probably still in his truck, probably still watching the house, probably planning his next move. Marcus could call Johnson, report the harassment. But what good would that do? Ryan would deny everything, claim Marcus was lying, play the victim. The system would tie itself in knots trying to be fair to everyone, and end up protecting no one. Or Marcus could handle this the way he'd handled threats in Fallujah. Direct, permanent, final. But that was a line he couldn't cross. Not yet. Not unless Ryan forced his hand. Around 2 a.m. Marcus dozed off in his chair. When he jerked awake an hour later, his phone was buzzing. Another unknown number. He answered. "What? You can't protect them forever." Ryan's voice slithered through the speaker. "Eventually you'll slip up, fall asleep, look away, and when you do, I'll be there." Marcus's grip tightened on the phone. "You threatening me?" "I'm stating facts. Nobody can be vigilant 24/7. You'll get tired, sloppy, and I'll get my family back." "They're not your family." "They'll always be my family," Ryan snarled. "You're just the latest fool who thinks he can save them. But you can't. Nobody can. Because Sarah and those boys, they belong to me." "People don't belong to other people," Marcus said. "That's slavery. We fought a war about that. Tell yourself whatever helps you sleep at night, hero. But we both know how this ends. You'll get bored of playing savior. Sarah will realize she can't mooch off you forever. She'll leave, and when she does, she'll come running right back to me. She always does. Or," Marcus said slowly, "you'll finally push too far. Violate your restraining order one too many times, and the judge will lock you up for real. Good luck with that." The line went dead. Marcus sat in the dark, his heart pounding, his mind racing. Ryan was right about one thing: Marcus couldn't stay vigilant forever. Eventually, he'd have to sleep, have to work, have to leave Sarah and the twins alone. And when that happened, Ryan would strike, unless Marcus struck first. The thought came unbidden, dark and tempting. He could call Ryan, arrange a meeting, handle this the way problems got handled in war zones. Quick, quiet, permanent. But he wasn't in a war zone. He was in Richmond. And Sarah was right. If he killed Ryan, even in self-defense, even with justification, he'd spend the rest of his life in prison. Emma wouldn't want that. So Marcus did the only thing he could do. He stayed awake, watched the windows, listened for footsteps outside, kept guard while his new family slept. Because that's what Marines did. They stood post. Outside, snow began to fall again, covering the street in white. Marcus watched it accumulate, watched the world turn clean and quiet. But beneath the snow, the blood was still there. It was always there. Dawn broke gray and cold. Marcus hadn't slept. His eyes burned, his back ached from sitting in the chair all night, but he'd kept watch. The street outside remained empty. No Ryan, no threats, just silence and snow. Footsteps creaked on the stairs. Sarah appeared, still wearing yesterday's clothes, her face puffy from crying and pain medication. "You stayed up all night?" she said. Not a question. Somebody had to. Marcus, you can't do this. You need sleep. I'll sleep when Ryan's back in jail. Sarah sat on the arm of the couch, wincing. What if he never goes back? What if this is just our life now, always looking over our shoulders, always waiting for him to show up? Then we adapt. We make it harder for him to find you, change your routine, get you a new phone, maybe eventually move you somewhere he can't track. Run away, Sarah said bitterly. That's what you mean. Uproot my whole life because the system won't protect us. It's not fair, Marcus agreed. But fair doesn't matter when you're trying to stay alive. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, Why are you doing this? Really? I told you. I know what you told me. About your daughter, about feeling useless, about needing purpose. But Marcus, there are other ways to find purpose. Volunteer at a soup kitchen, mentor kids, join a veterans group. You don't have to put yourself between me and a violent man. Marcus thought about that. About Emma's last days, about how helpless he'd felt watching her fade. About the nurse who'd held his hand when Emma took her last breath. About the stranger who'd paid for Emma's funeral flowers when Marcus's credit card was declined. When Emma was dying, Marcus said slowly, people helped us. People we didn't know. They didn't have to. But they saw someone suffering, and they stepped up. And I swore that if I ever got the chance, I'd do the same. I'd be the person who stepped up. That's beautiful, Sarah said. But this isn't bringing someone flowers. This is putting your life at risk. My life stopped having value 3 years ago. At least this way it means something. Marcus, don't, he interrupted. Don't try to talk me out of this. You need help. I can help. That's all that matters. Sarah opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Nodded once. Upstairs, the twins started moving around. Marcus heard their voices muffled but animated. Then footsteps racing down the hall. The bathroom door closed. They sound better, Marcus observed. They slept through the night for the first time in months, Sarah said. No nightmares. No waking up crying, just sleep. That's good. It's because they feel safe here, with you. Sarah looked at him. They trust you. I don't know how you did that so fast. I didn't do anything. I just treated them like kids instead of problems. The twins appeared at the top of the stairs, still wearing Marcus's oversized t-shirts, their hair sticking up in all directions. Jordan clutched the red truck. Morning? Marcus called up to them. Morning, Mr. Marcus, they chorused. You guys hungry? Starving, James said. Marcus pushed himself out of the chair, his joints protesting. Pancakes okay. You can make pancakes. Jordan's eyes went wide. I'm a Marine. We can make anything out of nothing. He shuffled to the kitchen, started pulling out ingredients. Sarah followed, started helping without asking. They moved around each other carefully, establishing a rhythm. She found the mixing bowl. He cracked eggs. She measured flour. He heated the griddle. The twins sat at the table watching like this was the most fascinating thing they'd ever seen. Mommy never makes pancakes, Jordan said. That's because we didn't have a kitchen at the shelter, Sarah explained. Just a microwave. How long were you at the shelter? Marcus asked, pouring batter onto the griddle. 2 months. Ever since the divorce was finalized. Ryan got the house in the settlement. His lawyer argued that since he paid the mortgage, he should keep it. My lawyer was court-appointed and barely showed up. I got nothing except full custody and a piece of paper telling Ryan to stay away. Sounds like you need a better lawyer. Lawyers cost money. I'm a waitress. Was a waitress. I lost that job when I had to keep missing shifts because Ryan kept showing up at the diner. Marcus flipped the pancakes, his jaw tight. He got you fired. Not directly, but he'd come in 'cause a scene scared the customers. My boss said she couldn't have that kind of drama, so she let me go. That's illegal. So's a lot of things. Doesn't mean they don't happen. Marcus served the pancakes, 3 for each twin, 2 for Sarah, 2 for himself. The boys drowned theirs in syrup. Sarah cut hers into small pieces, chewing carefully on the side of her mouth where her face wasn't swollen. "These are really good," James said around a mouthful. "Thank you, buddy. Can you teach me how to make them?" "Sure, maybe tomorrow." Jordan looked up. "Are we staying tomorrow?" The question hung in the air. Sarah and Marcus exchanged glances. "Do you want to stay?" Marcus asked. "Yes?" Both boys said immediately. "Then you're staying," Marcus decided. "At least until your mom figures out what comes next." Sarah started to protest, but Marcus held up a hand. "We're not having this argument in front of them. Later." She nodded, went back to her pancakes. They finished breakfast. Marcus washed dishes while Sarah helped the twins get dressed in their own clothes, still wrinkled but clean. The morning passed quietly. Too quietly. Marcus kept checking his phone. No new texts from Ryan. No calls. Nothing. The silence felt dangerous. Around 10, Marcus's phone rang. "Johnson." "Yeah." "We've got a problem," the sergeant said. "Ryan filed a complaint claiming you assaulted him on Christmas Eve." Marcus's grip tightened on the phone. "That's bullshit. I stopped him from murdering his ex-wife." "I know. Sarah's statement backs you up. But Ryan's lawyer is good. He's arguing that you used excessive force, that Ryan's head injury constitutes assault with intent to cause great bodily harm. He was trying to stab a woman. And you're a trained Marine who outweighs him by 50 pounds. His lawyer's painting you as the aggressor." Marcus closed his eyes, forced himself to breathe. "What happens now?" "Nothing immediate. The DA's reviewing both statements. But I wanted to give you a heads up. Don't be surprised if they bring you in for questioning." "When?" "Could be today. Could be next week. These things take time." "What about Ryan?" "He's been harassing me all night, calling from burner phones threatening Sarah and the kids." "Do you have recordings? Screenshots?" "I blocked the numbers. But I can pull my call log." "Do that. Send it to me. I'll add it to the file." "But Marcus." "Be careful. Ryan's building a case against you. He's trying to make you look like the bad guy." "I am the bad guy," Marcus said. "To him." "That's not what I meant." "I know what you meant." Marcus paused. "Thanks for the warning." He hung up, turned to find Sarah standing in the doorway. She'd heard everything. "He's trying to get you arrested," she said flatly. "Yeah. Because of me. Because you helped me." "No, because he's a coward who can't accept that he lost." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "I should leave. Take the boys and go. Before Ryan destroys your life the way he destroyed mine." "Where would you go?" "I don't know. Anywhere. Another city. Another state." "With what money?" "What resources Sarah running doesn't solve anything. It just changes the location." "But if we're gone, Ryan has no reason to target you." "You think he's going to stop just because you leave? No. He'll keep pushing. Keep filing complaints. Keep trying to destroy me out of spite. The only way this ends is if we stand our ground. And if you get arrested, then you call Johnson. He'll figure something out." "Marcus." "Sarah." He grabbed her shoulders, gentle but firm. "I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" She stared at him, tears streaming down her face. Finally she nodded. The afternoon dragged. Marcus tried to nap, but couldn't. Every car that passed made him tense. Every sound made him reach for his phone. The twins played quietly with Emma's toys, sensing the adult's anxiety, even if they didn't understand it. Around 3, someone knocked on the door. Marcus was up instantly, moving between the door and Sarah. "Stay back." He checked the peephole. 2 men in suits. One white, maybe 50, one black, younger, with kind eyes. They held up badges. Detectives. Marcus opened the door but kept the chain on. "Help you hold." "Mr. Washington, I'm Detective Chen. This is Detective Williams. We'd like to ask you a few questions about an incident on Christmas Eve." "I already gave a statement to Sergeant Johnson." "We understand. but we need to follow up on some details. May we come in?" Marcus looked back at Sarah. She'd gone pale. "Give me a minute," he said. He closed the door, turned to Sarah. "Take the boys upstairs. Don't come down until I say." "What are they going to do?" "Ask questions. Maybe arrest me. Either way, you keep those boys calm and quiet. Understand?" Sarah nodded, gathered James and Jordan, herded them upstairs. Marcus heard the guest room door close. He opened the front door, removed the chain. "Come in." Chen and Williams entered, looking around with professional curiosity. Marcus gestured to the couch. They sat. He remained standing. "Mr. Washington," Chen started, "we're investigating a complaint filed by Ryan Mitchell. He claims you assaulted him on December 24th behind Cornerstone Baptist Church. I stopped him from stabbing his ex-wife. That's your version. Mr. Mitchell's version is different." "I'm sure it is." Williams pulled out a notepad. "Walk us through what happened, from the beginning." Marcus did. Told them about hearing the scream, running to help, finding Ryan attacking Sarah with a knife. Told them about disarming Ryan, about the head injury, about calling 911. Chen listened without interrupting. When Marcus finished, he said, "Mr. Mitchell claims you attacked him without provocation. That Ms. Mitchell invited him to meet her at the church to discuss custody arrangements, and when he arrived you jumped him from behind." "That's a lie." "So you say. But Mr. Mitchell has texts from Ms. Mitchell asking him to meet her there." Marcus's blood went cold. "Sarah didn't send any texts. Phone records say otherwise." "Then Ryan faked them, or hacked her phone, or had someone else send them. Sarah was running from him. Why would she invite him anywhere?" Williams spoke up, his voice gentler. "Mr. Washington, we're not here to trick you. We're trying to understand what happened. But from where we're sitting, there are two very different stories. And Ryan Mitchell has evidence backing his up." "What evidence?" "Fake texts. Witnesses who saw Ms. Mitchell arrive at the church before Mr. Mitchell. Security footage showing her car in the parking lot for 20 minutes before his arrived." "Because she was hiding from him." Marcus's voice rose. "She ran there because she thought it would be safe. Because churches are supposed to be safe, but Ryan found her anyway and tried to kill her." "Did you see him with a knife?" Chen asked. "Yes, I told you that." "But Ms. Mitchell was already injured when you arrived, correct?" Marcus saw where this was going. "She had a bloody nose, bruises. Ryan was holding a knife." "Or," Chen suggested, "Ryan was defending himself from you, and in the struggle he grabbed a knife from his truck." "That's not what happened." "How do you know? You said yourself you arrived after the altercation had already started." Marcus's hands curled into fists. "Are you seriously suggesting I attacked them, both of them?" "We're suggesting that your story doesn't match the evidence." "What about Sarah's statement? She was there. She knows what happened." "Ms. Mitchell's statement is complicated," Williams said carefully. "She's a victim of domestic violence. Her perceptions might be distorted by trauma. And she has obvious motivation to protect you since you're currently housing her and her children. So you don't believe her?" "We believe she believes her version of events," Chen said. "But belief and truth aren't always the same thing." Marcus wanted to put his fist through the wall. "Am I under arrest?" "Not at this time, but we need you to come downtown and give a formal statement." "I already gave a statement. A more detailed one. At the station. With a recording." "When?" "Now would be good." Marcus looked toward the stairs. Sarah and the twins were up there listening to every word. "I need to make arrangements for my guests." "Your guests can stay here," Chen said. "We shouldn't be more than a few hours. And if I refuse, then we'll come back with a warrant, and it'll look a lot worse for you." Marcus knew when he was beaten. "Give me 5 minutes." They nodded. Marcus went upstairs, knocked on the guest room door. Sarah opened it, her face white with fear. "They want me to go downtown, answer more questions." "Are they arresting you?" "Not yet. But Sarah, listen to me. If they do, you call Johnson immediately. He'll know what to do. And whatever happens, you don't open this door for anyone except him. Understand? What about Ryan? Especially not Ryan. You stay inside. Keep the boys quiet. And if Ryan shows up, you call 911 and you don't hang up until the police arrive." Sarah grabbed his arm. "Marcus, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault." "It's not your fault. It's Ryan's. And the system's. But not yours." He looked past her at James and Jordan, both sitting on the bed, eyes huge with worry. "You guys be good for your mom, okay?" "Are you coming back?" Jordan asked, his voice small. "Yeah, buddy. I'm coming back. I promise." He hoped it wasn't a lie. Marcus went back downstairs. Chen and Williams stood by the door waiting. Marcus grabbed his wallet, his keys, his phone. "Let's go," he said. They led him to an unmarked sedan, put him in the back. Not cuffed, but the doors didn't open from the inside. Chen drove. Williams sat passenger, occasionally glancing back like he thought Marcus might try something. The drive to the station took 15 minutes. They brought him through a side entrance, avoiding the main lobby. Led him to an interview room. Gray walls, metal table, 2 chairs. A camera in the corner, red light blinking. "Have a seat," Chen said. "Can we get you anything, water, coffee?" "I'm fine. Detective Williams and I are going to ask you some questions. You're not under arrest, so you're free to leave at any time. But we'd appreciate your cooperation." Marcus sat, folded his hands on the table. "Ask." They asked. The same questions from before, but more detailed. How fast was Ryan moving? What angle was the knife? How hard did Marcus hit him? Was Ryan conscious when Marcus called 911? Marcus answered everything, stuck to the truth, didn't embellish, didn't minimize. After an hour, Chen leaned back. "Here's what I don't understand, Mr. Washington. You're a trained Marine. You've seen combat. You know how to disarm someone without causing serious injury. So why did Ryan Mitchell end up with a skull fracture? He doesn't have a skull fracture. He has a cut and a mild concussion. His medical report says different." Marcus's jaw clenched. "Then his medical report is lying. Or you're downplaying what you did." "I did what I had to do to stop a man from murdering a woman." "And you enjoyed it," Williams said quietly. "Didn't you?" The question caught Marcus off guard. "What?" "You enjoyed stopping Ryan. Felt good to hit someone. To feel powerful again after 3 years of feeling helpless." Marcus stared at him. "You think I beat up Ryan Mitchell because it made me feel good?" "I think you saw a chance to be a hero. To save someone the way you couldn't save your daughter. And I think you took that chance, consequences be damned." Marcus's vision blurred red. His hands gripped the table edge hard enough to hurt. "My daughter," he said slowly, "died of leukemia. There was nothing heroic about it, nothing noble. She suffered and I watched, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do. So yeah, when I heard Sarah screaming, when I saw Ryan about to stab her, I stopped him. And if that makes me a bad guy in your eyes, then I guess I'm a bad guy." Williams and Chen exchanged looks. Some silent communication passed between them. "Mr. Washington," Chen said, "we're going to step out for a few minutes. We'll be right back." They left. The door closed. The lock clicked. Marcus sat alone in the gray room, staring at the camera, wondering if this was it. If this was how his story ended, not in combat, not protecting his daughter, but in an interview room accused of the very violence he'd been trying to stop. Emma would be so disappointed. The thought made his chest ache. Emma who'd believed in fairness and justice and doing the right thing. Emma who'd made him promise to keep being good even after she was gone. He was trying, baby girl. He was really trying. The door opened. Johnson walked in, his face grim. "Marcus, what the hell did you say to them? The truth." "Yeah, well, the truth isn't helping. Chen and Williams think you're a loose cannon. They're talking about charging you with assault." "On what evidence?" "Ryan's medical records, witness statements, The fact that you're a trained combat veteran who beat up a civilian. I didn't beat him up. I stopped him from committing murder. I know that. You know that. But the DA's office sees a black man who put a white man in the hospital, and they're looking for a reason to make it stick. Marcus closed his eyes. What do I do? You get a lawyer, a good one, and you stop talking to Chen and Williams without representation. I don't have money for a lawyer. Then you get a public defender. But Marcus, you need representation. Now. What about Sarah? What about the twins? If I'm in jail? Sarah and the twins are fine for now, but you need to worry about yourself. The door opened again. Chen poked his head in. Mr. Washington, you're free to go. For now. But don't leave town. We'll be in touch. Johnson walked Marcus out past the bullpen where other cops stared past the lobby where civilians waited, out into the cold December air. How bad is this? Marcus asked. Bad enough that you need to take it seriously. Ryan's building a case. He's got a lawyer, evidence, a narrative. And right now his narrative is more convincing than yours. Because I'm black and he's white. Johnson didn't deny it. Get a lawyer, Marcus. Today, tonight, whenever. But get one. Marcus nodded, too tired to argue. Johnson drove him home. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the snow. Marcus's house looked different in the fading light, smaller, more vulnerable. You need anything, you call me? Johnson said. I mean it. Thanks. Marcus got out, walked to his door. Before he could unlock it, it flew open. Sarah stood there, tears streaming down her face. Thank God. I thought I was so scared they weren't going to let you come back. I'm back, Marcus said. For now. The twins appeared behind her, relief obvious on their small faces. Jordan was still clutching the red truck. Marcus stepped inside, closed the door, locked it. His house. His new family. His life that was getting more complicated by the hour. And somewhere out there, Ryan was planning his next move. Marcus woke to the sound of breaking glass. His eyes snapped open. 3 a.m. The house was dark except for the streetlight bleeding through the curtains. Another crash, louder this time, coming from the kitchen. He was on his feet before his brain fully engaged, muscle memory taking over. His hand found the lockbox in the closet, fingers working the combination in the dark. The Beretta felt heavy and cold. He checked the chamber. Loaded. Footsteps downstairs. Heavy. Male. Not trying to be quiet anymore. Marcus moved to the hallway, pressed himself against the wall. Listened. More footsteps. A muttered curse. Something metal scraping across tile. Sarah's door opened. She stood there in the darkness, her face white with terror. Marcus. He held up a hand. Stay quiet. Stay back. She nodded, understanding. The footsteps moved from the kitchen to the living room. Marcus could hear breathing now, ragged, angry. Whoever was down there wanted to be heard. I know you're up there, Marcus. Ryan's voice called out. Slurred. Drunk. I know you're listening. Come down here so we can talk. Man to man. Marcus's grip tightened on the gun. He looked at Sarah. Her hand covered her mouth, stifling a scream. You can't hide from me. Ryan continued. This is my family. Mine. And you're going to give them back. Marcus heard James and Jordan stirring in their room, heard Jordan start to cry. Daddy. Jordan's voice small and terrified. Daddy, is that you? Jordan, baby. Yes, it's me. Ryan called up the stairs. Daddy's here to take you home. You and James and Mommy. We're going to be a family again. We don't want to go with you, James said, his voice shaking but defiant. We want to stay here with Mr. Marcus. Something shattered downstairs. A lamp, maybe. Or a picture frame. That's because he's been lying to you, Ryan snarled. Filling your heads with poison. But I'm here now. And we're leaving. All of us. Marcus moved to the top of the stairs. Gun down, pointed at the floor, finger off the trigger. "Ryan, you need to leave, now." "Or what?" Ryan stepped into view at the bottom of the stairs. He was holding something Marcus couldn't see what in the darkness. "You going to shoot me, Marcus? You going to shoot an unarmed man in front of his children? You broke into my house. That makes this self-defense." "Your house." Ryan laughed, bitter and broken. "You've known my family for 3 days. 3 days. And you think that gives you the right to keep them from me? The restraining order gives me that right. The law gives me that right. The law's wrong." Ryan started climbing the stairs. 1 step, 2 steps. "The law says a piece of paper can break apart a family. Says a woman can take a man's children just because she's scared. But I'm not scared anymore, Marcus. I'm done being scared." "Stop right there," Marcus said, raising the gun. "Don't take another step." Ryan stopped, stared up at Marcus, and the Beretta pointed at his chest. "You really going to do it? Pull that trigger in front of James and Jordan?" Behind Marcus. Sarah had pulled the twins into the hallway. They were both crying now, clinging to their mother. "I don't want to," Marcus said. "But I will if you don't leave." Empty threat. "You're one of the good guys, right? Marines don't shoot unarmed civilians. You broke into my house at 3 in the morning. You're drunk. You're violating a restraining order. And I don't know what you're holding behind your back, but I'm guessing it's not flowers." Ryan's smile was ugly in the darkness. "Smart man." He brought his hand forward. "Knife. Same one from Christmas Eve or one just like it. Found it in the church parking lot after you called the cops. Thought it might come in handy." "Put the knife down, Ryan." "Or what? Or I call 911 and you go back to jail." "Go ahead, call them. But we both know they won't get here in time." Ryan took another step up. "I'm taking my family. You can either get out of the way or you can try to stop me. Your choice." Marcus's finger moved to the trigger. Every instinct screamed at him to fire. Center mass. 2 shots. Drop him. But James and Jordan were right there watching, and if Marcus pulled that trigger, they'd remember it for the rest of their lives. "Daddy, please," Jordan sobbed. "Please don't hurt Mr. Marcus." "I'm not going to hurt him, baby. I'm just going to move him out of the way." Ryan lunged. Marcus had maybe half a second to react. He couldn't shoot. The twins were too close, the angle too dangerous. So he did the only thing he could do. He threw himself down the stairs at Ryan, leading with his shoulder, using his weight and momentum. They collided hard. Ryan's knife slashed upward, caught Marcus across the ribs. Pain exploded white hot, but Marcus didn't stop. He drove Ryan backward down the stairs, both of them tumbling, crashing into walls and banister. They hit the bottom in a tangle of limbs. The knife skittered away. Marcus's gun went flying, disappeared under the couch. Ryan recovered first, drove his fist into Marcus's wounded ribs. Marcus gasped, stars bursting across his vision. Another punch. Another. Ryan was on top now, raining down blows, his face twisted with rage. "You think you can take my family?" Ryan screamed. "You think you're better than me?" Marcus blocked what he could, took the rest. His training said to fight back, to neutralize the threat. But Sarah was at the top of the stairs with the twins, and Marcus couldn't risk them seeing their father get beaten to death. So he endured. Let Ryan burn through his rage. Waited for an opening. It came when Ryan reached for the knife. Marcus hooked his leg around Ryan's, rolled, reversed their positions. Now Marcus was on top, his hands pinning Ryan's wrist to the floor. "It's over," Marcus panted. "You're done." Ryan spat in his face. "I'm never done. Never." Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Sarah must have called 911. Ryan heard them too. His face went from rage to panic. No, they can't. I can't go back." He bucked wildly, trying to throw Marcus off. But Marcus had 60 pounds on him and 12 years of combat training. Ryan wasn't going anywhere. The sirens got louder. Red and blue lights swept through the windows. Car doors slammed. Heavy footsteps on the porch. "Police, open up!" Doors unlocked, Marcus called out. Suspect is restrained in the living room. The door burst open. 4 officers flooded in, guns drawn. Johnson was with them, his face grim. Marcus, let him go, Johnson ordered. Marcus released Ryan's wrists, rolled off him. Immediately 2 officers were on Ryan, cuffing him, reading him his rights. Ryan fought them, screaming obscenities, but it was useless. Johnson holstered his weapon, walked over to Marcus. You hurt me, ribs, knife wound, not deep. We need to get you looked at. I'm fine. You're bleeding all over my crime scene. You're not fine. Johnson called to one of the officers. Get EMS in here. Marcus looked up at the stairs. Sarah stood there with James and Jordan, all 3 of them crying. The twins had their faces buried in their mother's shirt, but Marcus could see Jordan peeking out his eyes, huge and terrified. Hey, Marcus called up to them. It's okay, it's over. You're bleeding, Jordan whispered. Just a scratch, buddy. I've had worse. The paramedics arrived, started examining Marcus's ribs. The cut was about 4 inches long, not too deep, but bleeding heavily. They wanted to take him to the hospital. Marcus refused. Just patch me up here. Sir, you need stitches. Then give me stitches here. I'm not leaving them. The paramedic looked at Johnson, who shrugged. Man's a Marine. Good luck changing his mind. They cleaned the wound, gave him local anesthetic, started stitching. Marcus didn't flinch. Kept his eyes on Sarah and the twins. Ryan was still screaming as the officers hauled him toward the door. This isn't over. You hear me, Marcus? This isn't over. I'll get out. I always get out. Not this time, Johnson said. Breaking and entering assault with a deadly weapon, violation of a restraining order. Judge is going to throw the book at you. My lawyer. Your lawyer can't help you now. You're done, Ryan. They dragged him out. His screams echoed down the street until the cruiser doors slammed shut, and the sirens faded into the distance. The house went quiet. Sarah came down the stairs slowly, the twins still attached to her. She looked at Marcus, bloody, bruised, but alive, and started crying harder. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. It's not your fault, Marcus said through gritted teeth as the paramedic tied off another stitch. Ryan made his choices. Now he's paying for them. You could have died. But I didn't. You should have shot him. Should have ended it. Marcus looked at James and Jordan, still watching from behind their mother. No, I couldn't do that to them. The paramedic taped a bandage over the stitches. You're going to need antibiotics and pain meds, and someone needs to watch you for signs of infection. I'll watch him, Sarah said immediately. Ma'am, are you a nurse? No, but I'm all he's got. The paramedic looked dubious, but packed up his supplies. Change the dressing twice a day. Keep it clean. Any redness, swelling, or fever, you go straight to the ER. Got it? Got it, Marcus said. Johnson waited until the paramedics left, then pulled Marcus aside. Kept his voice low so Sarah and the twins couldn't hear. Ryan's lawyer is going to have a field day with this. Breaking into your house, sure, that's clear cut. But you had a gun, Marcus. You pointed it at him. He's going to argue he was defending himself. He came here with a knife, which he claims is his knife, which technically it was his property. And he's going to say he only brought it because he was scared of you. The big, scary Marine who assaulted him on Christmas Eve. Marcus closed his eyes. So even when I do everything right, I'm still the bad guy. In his version. Yeah. But here's the thing, you've got witnesses now. Sarah saw the whole thing. The twins heard it. And my officers saw Ryan attacking you when they came through that door. That's going to be hard for his lawyer to spin. Is he going to make bail again? Not if I have anything to say about it. I'm recommending he be held without bail pending trial. Judge might actually listen this time. And if they don't... Johnson was quiet for a moment. Then you better sleep with that gun close. He left. The other officers followed, taking statements, taking photos, dusting for prints. By the time they were done, dawn was breaking. Marcus sat on the couch, his ribs throbbing, exhaustion pulling at him. Sarah brought him water and the antibiotics the paramedic had left. The twins sat on either side of him, not touching, just being close. "Mr. Marcus," James said quietly. "Yeah, buddy. Are you going to die?" "No, I'm going to be fine." "Daddy said he was going to kill you." "Your daddy says a lot of things. Doesn't mean they're true." Jordan leaned his head against Marcus's arm, careful of the bandage. "I'm glad you didn't shoot him." Marcus looked down at the small boy, his eyes red from crying. "Me too, buddy. Me too." Sarah sat in the chair across from them, watching. "What happens now?" "Now." Marcus winced as he shifted position. "Now we wait. See if the judge keeps Ryan locked up. If he does, you and those boys are safe. If he doesn't, we leave," Sarah finished. "Take the boys and disappear before Ryan can find us again." "Or," Marcus said, "you stay, and we figure out how to make sure Ryan can't hurt you anymore." "How?" "We've tried everything. Restraining orders, lawyers, the police. Nothing works." "Because you've been fighting alone. But you're not alone anymore." Sarah's eyes filled with tears again. "Marcus, you've already done so much. You've been hurt because of us. I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. I'm offering. This is my fight now too." "Why? Why would you keep fighting for us?" Marcus looked at the twins, at their small faces, still marked by trauma and fear. Thought about Emma, about how she'd wanted him to keep being good even after she was gone. "Because somebody has to," he said simply, "and it might as well be me." The sun rose higher, filling the house with pale winter light. Marcus dozed in fits and starts the pain meds, making him groggy. Sarah kept watch, changing his bandage, checking his temperature, making sure he drank water. The twins played quietly with Emma's toys, their laughter soft and careful, like they were afraid too much noise might summon their father back. Around noon, Marcus's phone rang. "Johnson." "Marcus, I've got news. Judge denied bail. Ryan's being held in county lockup pending trial." Relief flooded through Marcus's chest. "For how long?" "Trial's set for March, 3 months. And given the severity of the charges, breaking and entering assault with a deadly weapon, multiple restraining order violations, he's looking at serious time. Maybe 5 to 10 years. "That's it. 5 to 10 years for trying to kill 3 people. Welcome to the justice system." "But Marcus, 5 years is 5 years. That's 5 years Sarah and those boys can rebuild their lives without looking over their shoulders." And after 5 years, a lot can change. Sarah can move, get a new identity, disappear completely if she needs to. Marcus knew Johnson was right. 5 years was better than nothing. Better than Ryan walking free tomorrow. "Thanks, Johnson, for everything." "Don't thank me. You're the one who kept standing up when most people would have walked away." Johnson paused. "How are the ribs?" "Hurt like hell, but I'll live." "Good, because I need you to come by the station in a few days. Give another statement, photos of your injuries, build the prosecution's case." "I'll be there." He hung up, turned to Sarah. "Ryan's not making bail. Trial's in March. Judge is recommending 5 to 10 years. Sarah's knees buckled. She sat down hard, her hand over her mouth. "It's over. It's really over. For now. For now is enough." She started crying, not scared crying this time, but relieved. Released. Oh God, we're safe." The twins heard her, came running. "Mommy, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, babies. Everything's right. Everything's finally right." She pulled them into a fierce hug, all 3 of them crying and laughing at the same time. Marcus watched from the couch, something warm and painful expanding in his chest. This was what he'd been missing. Not just purpose, but family. Not his family, not the one he'd lost, but a family that needed him just as much as he needed them. Emma would have loved them, would have loved Sarah's strength, James's bravery, Jordan's gentle heart, would have made them her siblings in everything but blood. "Mr. Marcus." Jordan extracted himself from the hug, walked over to the couch. "Does this mean we can stay? Do you want to stay?" "Yes, forever." "Forever's a long time, buddy." "I don't care. I want to stay with you." Marcus looked at Sarah. She was watching him, her eyes asking a question she hadn't voiced yet. "You can stay as long as you need," Marcus said. "All three of you. This house has been empty too long anyway." Sarah started crying again. "We can't impose on you forever." "You're not imposing. You're living. There's a difference. But we need to figure out a plan. I need to find a job, save money, get my own place." "Eventually," Marcus agreed. "But not today. Not this week. Not even this month. Today you rest. You heal. You let those boys feel safe for the first time in months. And when you're ready, when you're really ready, then we'll talk about next steps." Sarah wiped her eyes. "What did we do to deserve you? You didn't do anything. You just needed help. And I needed to help. Sometimes it's that simple." It wasn't simple, of course. Nothing about this was simple. There would be court dates and testimony and lawyers and trauma to work through. There would be nightmares and flashbacks and hard conversations. But for now, in this moment, it was enough. Sarah and the twins were safe. Ryan was locked up, and Marcus's empty house was full of life again. That afternoon, Marcus taught James and Jordan how to make pancakes. They stood on chairs at the stove, carefully pouring batter, watching it bubble and brown. Their laughter filled the kitchen, real laughter, not the careful kind from before. Sarah watched from the doorway, her hand pressed to her heart. "You're good with them," she said. "They're easy to be good with. Not for everyone. Their father's not here," Marcus interrupted gently. "And he's not going to be here. So let's not talk about him." Sarah nodded. Came into the kitchen, started setting the table. They moved around each other naturally, now establishing routines, learning each other's patterns. They ate lunch together. The twins chattered about everything and nothing, making up stories about the red truck, planning adventures they wanted to have when the snow melted. After lunch, exhaustion finally caught up with Marcus. The pain meds and blood loss and adrenaline crash all hit at once. "I need to sleep," he said. "Go," Sarah urged. "We'll be fine. Wake me if anything—" "I know. Go." Marcus climbed the stairs, each step pulling at his stitches. He made it to his room, collapsed on the bed, still fully dressed. Sleep took him instantly. He dreamed of Emma. She was 7 again, healthy and whole, her hair long and curly, her smile bright. They were at the park, pushing her on the swings, her laughter ringing out clear as bells. "Higher, Daddy, push me higher. I don't want you to fall. I won't fall. You'll catch me. You always catch me." In the dream, he pushed her higher and higher until she was flying, soaring above the swing set, above the trees, above everything. And when she finally came down, she wasn't 7 anymore. She was the age she'd never gotten to be, 10, 12, 15. "You're doing good, Daddy," Dream Emma said. "Helping them. That's what I would have wanted. I miss you so much, baby girl." "I know, but you're not alone anymore. You've got a new family now." "They're not you." "No, but they need you. And you need them. That's okay, Daddy. It's okay to be happy again." Marcus woke with tears on his face. The room was dark. He'd slept for hours. His phone showed 6 p.m. Voices drifted up from downstairs, Sarah reading to the twins, doing voices for different characters, the boys giggling. Normal family sounds. The kind his house hadn't held in 3 years. Marcus touched his ribs gently. Still painful but manageable. He got up, changed his shirt, checked the bandage. No signs of infection. Downstairs, he found them on the couch. Sarah reading Where the Wild Things Are, James and Jordan, on either side of her, following along. "Room for one more?" Marcus asked. Jordan scooted over immediately, making space. Marcus sat down carefully, and Jordan leaned against him, just like he'd done before. Natural. Easy. Like they'd been doing this forever, instead of just days. Sarah kept reading. Marcus listened to her voice, to the twins' occasional questions and comments, and felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years. Peace. Not happiness. Not yet. The wounds were too fresh, the grief too deep. But peace. The quiet knowledge that maybe, just maybe, he was exactly where he was supposed to be. Outside, snow began to fall again, but inside Marcus's house, 3 people who'd had nowhere to go had found a home. And Marcus, who'd thought his life was over, had found a reason to keep living. It wasn't the family he'd planned, wasn't the life he'd imagined, but it was enough.